ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਅਸੀਂ ਭਾਰਤ ਤੋਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨਾ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਿਆਸਤ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਔਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਸ਼ਸ਼ੀ ਥਰੂਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ। ਸ਼ਸ਼ੀ ਥਰੂਰ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਚਰਚਿਤ ਨੇਤਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਮਾਰ ਹੈ। ਜਾਣੇ ਮਾਣੇ ਲਿਖਾਰੀ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 1.5 ਦਰਜਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਵੱਧ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ 16-17 ਪੁਸਤਕਾਂ ਲਿਖੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਸੈਂਕੜੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਮਾਣੇ ਰਸਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੇਖ ਛਪੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਜ਼ਮੂਨ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਮਾਜ ਬਾਰੇ, ਸਿਆਸਤ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਤੇ ਆਰਥਿਕਤਾ ਬਾਰੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲੇਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਹੋਇਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਜਨਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ਸ਼ੀ ਥਰੂਰ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਨੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 70ਵੇਂ ਦੇ ਅਖੀਰ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਔਰ ਵਾਹਿਦ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੇ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਸ਼ੀ ਥਰੂਰ ਜੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਸਕੱਤਰ ਜਨਰਲ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੋਣ ਲੜੀ। ਬੈਨ ਕੀ ਮੂਨ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਚੋਣ ਹਾਰੇ ਸਨ, ਦੂਜੇ ਨੰਬਰ ਤੇ ਰਹੇ ਸਨ ਅਤੇ ਅੰਡਰ ਸੈਕਟਰੀ ਜਨਰਲ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਸਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਜੌਬ ਛੱਡੀ। ਸਿਆਸਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਦਮ ਰੱਖਿਆ, ਸਿਆਸਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਟਾਈਲ, ਕਾਨਾ ਪੋਲਿਟਿਕਸ ਹੀ ਡਜ਼, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਕਸਰ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਚਰਚਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਸੁਖੀ ਚਾਹਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਿਲਿਕਨ ਵੈਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ IT ਕੰਸਲਟੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਉਹ ਸੰਸਥਾਪਕ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਆਓ ਫਿਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸ਼ਸ਼ੀ ਥਰੂਰ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ। ਜੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ and good morning to you. How are you, Jasbir?
Good morning, sir. You have a lot of experience in the United Nations. Let's start with the role of India, present day India in the world stage, because nobody can comment better than you, sir.
Thank you. But India is not doing too badly on the world stage. I think we have a certain amount of global respect now in recent years. Partly, I think, after the liberalization of 1991, our economy grew so much that a lot of world leaders and countries around the world felt they should come to India and participate in the growth of our economy. And that, I think, was a very major factor in opening up the perception of India in many of the countries of the world.
Mr. Tharoor, in 78 or so, when you were doing your job in the United Nations, things were altogether different. We were aligned towards a different bloc at that time, and then things changed. Specifically, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh changed everything, and now Mr. Modi, he has his own ways of doing the things. Which way we are heading? Are we heading in the right direction?
Well, actually, on foreign policy, there have not been any major changes under Mr. Modi. I've always argued that there's no such thing as a Congress foreign policy or a BJP foreign policy. There is only Indian foreign policy. And in many ways, what Mr. Modi has done has confirmed this. He has continued what one might call the Manmohan Singh doctrine, which is that foreign policy must serve principally the interests of the well-being and the prosperity and security of the people of India. So under Dr. Manmohan Singh, he would insist that we should improve our relations with countries from which investment is needed for our growth. In other words, countries like the Western countries. We should improve relations with the countries which are sources of economic security for us, for example, by employing Indians, by which we have the Gulf countries. He has talked about the relations with countries that are sources of energy security for us, countries that supply oil, food security for us, countries where we are importing food from them. All of these factors meant that suddenly foreign policy was not seen as an end in itself, but about the hardcore interests of the people of India. And as a result, a very strong economic component was brought into foreign policy by Dr. Manmohan Singh. This is exactly the approach that is being continued by Mr. Modi. He has been emphasizing to India's diplomats that your job is not just to attend political discussions or diplomatic receptions. you have to be promoting the hard economic interests of India in the countries you're located.
Mr. Tharoor, I appreciate if you can speak a little bit louder. Your voice is too low. And my next question is that the role of Indian diaspora, because we have huge numbers all over the world now, and you are a much traveled person. In the present situation, what's the most appropriate role of Indian diaspora?
Well, the Indian diaspora, it seems to me, has a great deal that it's already contributing in India, and it should continue to do so. One obvious role is sending money home during the economic crisis, the economic recession that began in 2008. India benefited enormously from the contributions made by our workers abroad. Over $59 billion in those first years of recession, and today it's about $70 billion of money that goes back every year to India from the diaspora. The second thing that the diaspora can do, of course, is to increase awareness of India and of India's interests and concerns in those countries where the diaspora is living. So each of you in Vancouver is an ambassador of India, because what you are doing, how you behave, your excellent work, your excellent accomplishments, all of those reflect on the country from which you have come. You may be Canadian citizens today, but there is no doubt that people will see your Indianness as well in everything that you do. And it seems to me that when you are good Canadian citizens and successful Canadians, you are also reflecting very well on India. In the process, you're in a position to influence Canadian thinking about India, the thinking of your friends, your co-workers, but also of media and even of government. I was always struck by the fact that when American politicians, senators, congressmen need Indians to fundraise for them, need Indian voters to vote for them, immediately they tend to be more supportive of Indian issues because they know they need the diaspora here. So, for example, in America, the India caucus is the largest single caucus in the U.S. Congress. And that's because so many American politicians feel that they need the support and the goodwill of Indian American voters and fundraisers. So that's the third thing that we can expect from all of you, I hope, in Canada.
Mr. Tharoor, Mr. Modi has a habit of hugging world leaders, and he hugged Mr. Obama and Mr. Trump too tight, and that probably has a effect on China and Pakistan. Things are changing around our immediate neighbors. Would you like to comment on this?
Well, there's no question that his personal style of hugging has attracted a lot of comment. In some ways, of course, it is charmingly disarming. It's very difficult to be rude to somebody who hugs you. But you're right, we have not seen him hugging the Chinese leader there. All I've seen is a stiff handshake. So it does look as if the signal that is being conveyed is that India has especially warm feelings for America and Japan, but not very warm feelings for China and Pakistan. Body language can often convey a certain message which is also substantially true. And in the case of Mr. Modi, there is no doubt that India's foreign policy has become more overtly pro-American, pro-Japanese, and more overtly negative about China and Pakistan than may be entirely wise. We as a country have to get along with everybody, and China and Pakistan are our neighbors. We can't wish that away. We can change a number of things about our politics, but we can't change our geography, and they are next door to us. So I think we have to be able to get along with them, even in terms of the economic objectives of Mr. Modi's policy. He doesn't want to have two hostile neighbors on his borders who are prepared to create trouble for India, because if they did that, then obviously the consequences would not be good for us, because even investors don't like war zones. So if we are having a lot of shooting or firing going on the Pakistan border or the China border, investors will flee out of India. So it's not in our interest to allow situations or relationships to get to a point where they can damage our own core interests.
Mr. Tharoor, the next question is about the domestic politics in India, and I want to give reference a little bit about the speech that Mr. Rahul Gandhi gave in UC Berkeley, and about the dynastic comment, which is probably true, that India politicians are great and you are one of the best of them, but Parivarvad or dynastic rule is still there, and how come the politicians don't come from the universities like we do have our culture over here?
Well, let me say with some pride that there is no Parivarvad in my own career. Nobody in my family in any direction has gone into politics. I have no parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts in politics, and my sons are not going to go into politics. It's just something that I have come to contribute.
There's a different kind of Parivarvad in your family history, that is journalism. Your mama was founder of Reader's Digest, and your sons are doing a wonderful job as well.
Thank you. Well, just as in their case, they have to earn their recognition by writing well. Similarly, one can say about the so-called dynastic politicians that they will only survive in politics if they do well at the ballot box, if they are actually loved by the voters.
Let me put it other way around. You are one of the best, you are stars of the politics in Congress. What are the impediments? What stops you to be the leader of the party? They are not accepting you, or you're not even trying hard?
Well, I'm trying very hard, but I'm trying very hard not to lead the party in the sense of being number one, but to lead the party in the sense of promoting certain values, certain principles that I have advocated within the party. And as you may see from any of my debates in Parliament on YouTube, as you will see from the articles I've written and the positions I've taken, I have consistently taken an approach which emphasizes expanding the political freedoms of the Indian people and expanding the rights that we have in our country for ordinary citizens of India. That is something that I have done, whether it is on opposing the sedition law, whether it is opposing the death penalty, whether it is trying to liberalize the Section 377 that criminalizes homosexuality.
But sometimes, Mr. Tharoor, people accuse you that you do not listen to your party diktats, and you have a lot of praise for Mr. Modi on Times.
Well, I think people who say that are not looking at my statements and articles very carefully. There is a tendency in India, unfortunately, to jump to quick conclusions on the basis of headlines. Whenever I have praised Mr. Modi, it has been in a very specific context. For example, I have said Mr. Modi delivers very good speeches, but where is the implementation? So people hear me saying Mr. Modi delivers good speeches, and they don't listen to me saying, but where is the implementation of his ideas? Similarly, I have been supportive of the government when it comes to some aspects of economic policy, because as an Indian, I want my country to prosper. Any Indian who is a proud Indian should feel that the success and prosperity of India is the business of people of every party. So there I will speak up, but I have opposed Mr. Modi and his party on issues of bigotry, of cow vigilantism, of their willingness to polarize public opinion, particularly against the Muslim community. I have attacked them on their readiness to call people anti-national, which I think is not the right of any party in our country to decide who is anti-national, who is not. There are many ways in which we can love our country, and Mr. Modi's party has no monopoly on that. And so in many, many ways, I've been very openly critical of Mr. Modi, as well as, of course, in the Parliament and in the Lok Sabha. So I want to assure you that my very clear and open statements, if people listen to them and read them, and they're all available on record on the internet, they will see that I remain a very strong opposition voice against the wrong things that are being done by our government.
Mr. Tharoor, this is my last question, sir. That Congress traditionally was supposed to be a centrally controlled party, but nowadays, I guess regional parties are getting powerful in different states. And this question I'm asking in relation to Punjab. Captain Amarinder Singh is considered to be the savior of Congress. He brought a lot of oxygen in the decline of Congress. Your comment on this?
Oh, I think that Captain Amarinder Singh has been a very successful leader of the Congress Party even before the elections. But in the elections, he was able to take the Congress to a thumping victory. And in my own view, this is something we must appreciate, that the Congress Party does have a lot of respect for its senior leaders in many parts of the country. There are places, certainly, when the Congress Party High Command in Delhi seems to decide who should lead the party in one place or the other. But it very rarely does so at the expense of the senior leaders or of disrespecting the senior leaders. Even when there is a change in a state leadership, the state leader who has been put aside will be given other responsibilities. So, for example, in Rajasthan, young Sachin Pilot is leading the party, but Ashok Gehlot, who was the previous leader, has been made General Secretary in charge of the very important state of Gujarat. So he has a senior position in the party. That's the kind of way in which the Congress Party likes to function, that it takes everybody along. It doesn't want to displace anyone. So Captain Amarinder Singh led the party in Punjab, but his predecessor as the chief, Pratap Singh Bajwa, was made a Rajya Sabha MP in Delhi. So everybody comes along. And I think the good idea behind this is we are a large party. There are different leaders. Different people must be given a chance at different times. But everybody belongs to the party, and everybody must work in the party to make the Congress's message successful, so that one day, before too long, I hope, we are back leading and guiding the destiny of India.
Mr. Tharoor, thank you very much for your time, and we'll be in touch, sir. I'll be calling you from India as well. Thank you for your time once again.
Okay, Jasbir. Good. Excellent. Good talking to you. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Shashi Tharoor Sahab, Member Parliament, ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਦੇ ਜਾਣੇ-ਮਾਣੇ ਨੇਤਾ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਸੁਣੇ ਨੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਲਈ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਸੁਖੀ ਚਾਹਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ, ਸੈਨ ਹੋਜ਼ੇ ਦੇ ਸੁਖੀ ਚਾਹਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਸੰਸਥਾਪਕ ਨੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਸਦਕਾ ਇਹ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਪੋਸੀਬਲ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਦੈਨ ਆਪਾਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਮਨ ਅਰੋੜਾ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਆਮ ਆਦਮੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਕੋ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।